Hello, this is Mike, NoStressMike.com. I want to talk to you a little bit about preparing to shoot. I'm not quite sure how to say it. I want to say combat, but it's not really like that. What I've noticed here, I'll show you what made me think of this. Here's a holster I'm working on, and right here is a military holster, and I'm taking parts off of that and working it to what I want it to do. And this is where it came to my attention. I don't quite understand. I mean, it looks pretty silly to me, to be more exact. People go to training, military. You know, they see that's when people think of militia, they think of these guys that want to be military, and they're over there, and they're trying to learn to shoot like the military. They're trying to act like the military. And then there's people that, you know, you get a policeman. I like this, and a policeman will show people how to shoot a firearm, and, you know, for self-defense and all this stuff. And I think it's kind of odd because the same thing. Policemen shoot policeman way policemen shoot. And then you have the movies. You know, people see the movies and they think, oh, I'm going to do like that. So then they start shooting like they do in the movies. And it's odd because why? Well, I'll put it this way. In my experience, I have fought military, I have fought the police, I have fought bad guys, and I fought just plain stupid people that watch the movies. And not all of them were to the death, but they were in some degree of contact, if not shooting. But the thing that I find funny is, okay, you want to train and act like a military guy, and you are going to fight the military. Are you going to take lessons from a policeman, and you're going to fight policemen? You know, I mean, it's kind of like in the old days, you know, they'd line everybody up with their muskets, and then they would shoot a volley, and then on the other side they'd line up with their muskets and they would shoot the volley, and they just keep going back and forth like that. Okay, you're wanting to fight exactly like your opponent, and I find that really odd. I've mentioned that also with the real fighting, all the real fighting that I've done, and I mean, I've done it clear up until the last maybe 2 or 3 years. So I mean, I've been pretty active, and but you don't, in reality, it's not like you see on TV or all this other kind of stuff. You know, macho one-on-one and this kind of stuff. You never do that. And the reason is, you're going to lose. It's just a matter of time. You're going to lose. After all these encounters I've had, I'm still here. I'm still functioning right. In other words, I don't do it the way everybody thinks things are going to be done. So I'm a free thinker, even when it comes to my contact events. And I've already showed you my concealed carry. You notice I don't have anything fancy. A lot of people have all this fancy stuff. I don't have nothing fancy. My stuff is all functional, And because, like I say, I've added my experience to everything, and then this is where it all comes. And I don't practice the way my opponent's going to practice. I don't. And that's because we're doing things completely different. Another thing you always hear me mention is God, your God, or my God, whatever it is, and how our God made us to be, I don't know, maybe your God made you to be a sheep. Maybe your God made you to be somebody to be preyed on by others. My God didn't create me like that. So my God gave me the sense to learn to defend myself against the stuff, the military, the police, the TV stuff, you know, bad guys. I mean, I don't even train like bad guys. I don't train like none of them, because that puts me on equal ground with them. Why would I want to be equal? I don't. I have the advantage on whoever it is that I'm going up against. And you hear me talk about, you know, I'm outnumbered and outgunned. There's things you need to learn and understand. And this is the stuff that I talk about all the time. I say, God, morals, you got to have the proper morals. You have to understand your moral obligation, your constitutional obligations. You have to understand, if you're one of we the people, like I am one of the we the people, a true American, we are not victims. We are not taught to be victims. And so we don't practice that type of encounters. Like I say, you'd be stupid to try to go up against the military on equal grounds. And you're not going to be going up against police on equal grounds. Police are never equal. I always outnumber everybody 2, 3, 4, 6 police to 1. So they're you know, I mean, so they practice a different way. They focus a different way. Military, the same thing. I told you, we would fight, 100 of us would fight anywhere from 500 to thousands. I'm not saying we all survived it, but what I'm saying is we didn't use the same tactics as our opponents did. I was in the Marines. We were taught to think and make use of what's around you. That's what I'm saying. A military type holster. It doesn't, to me, it doesn't work. And the reason is see, it's too hard. And like I say, it's going to restrict some movement on my leg. And so that's why I'm trying to come up with something different. And that's one thing I haven't shown you, is my combat ready gear. And my combat ready gear isn't the same as military. Like I say, we're right back to the same thing. People who want to act like the military, you want to dress like the military, you want the military weapons. I don't. I don't want to be on equal grounds with them. I mean, they've got the advantage if you're equal. And it's just, and even if you don't, if it's equal, 50% chance you're going to lose. Now, like I say, I've been going enough that you notice I'm not working on the 50% thing. 50% thing would have caught up with me a long time ago. So I make sure I've got the advantage. And this is what all this is. I'm trying to figure out how to give me a little advantage over here. Now this is on, like I say, on my, I don't know how else to say it, but we'll say combat gear. It's not military. I mean, I don't look like military. I don't want to look like military. I want to have access to whatever I need. I thought I was being real cool with the bicycle. because, like I say, I don't really want to carry a backpack either. And we've been doing maneuvers, I guess you might call them, doing cross-country stuff and getting out like that. Now, the other people, they were all having fun. And for me, they couldn't understand why I was wearing the gear I was wearing. And I was putting it to the test on the gear I was wearing. And the reason is, I don't want to tell you too much of what I do, but I do use deer trails on cross-country. Out here in the country, we got a lot of deer trails everywhere. And I'm not much on taking paths and roads because that's where you get victimized at. So I like to figure out where the deer trails are and how to use the deer trails. And I am set up. My gear is like that. Can you imagine wearing a big old backpack and having all your gear dangling all over you and you're going through a deer trail? I'm sorry, you probably don't even know what a deer trail is. And I'm not going to go through it and try to explain to you, but you can't wear all that crap and go through deer trails, especially if you're going to do it quietly and get some speed, be able to move some, and be stealthy. So this is why I just do it one step at a time. One step at a time we go out and we do things. I find stuff, I come back, I do the modifications and stuff like that. And then people give me stuff such as this, holster. Can you imagine? This doesn't even have the holster on it yet. Look at all this, and it doesn't even have the holster on it. So, I mean, that's more stuff you have to put on. So I keep my stuff to a minimum because, like I say, I don't want to be equal like everybody else. I mean, these people, whoever it is I'm going up against, they're going to have a whole lot more than what I am, in which is going to give them a disadvantage. And same thing, night vision. Okay, I've been working on how to not only avoid night vision or work without night vision, and there's ways of doing it. Now, if you're in the military, no, you need night vision. Okay, now you get dependent on the night vision. All I got to do is find out where the faults are on it and then use that to my benefit, and I've got the advantage again. And the whole system is set up like that. And these are things that you need to think about before you start taking all these really cool lessons from military people and police and watching all these movies and thinking you figured out all this stuff, because, like I say, it doesn't work near as what you think it does. Think for yourself and look at your own physical conditioning, limitations, and this type of stuff, and that's what you need to go by. This is Mike, NoStressMike.com.